The chair recognizes the gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Butterfield, for 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to honor the life and work of a dear friend, a North Carolina giant, the Honorable Ralph A. Hunt, Sr., community leader, businessman, educator, former North Carolina State Senator, and a devoted husband, father, grandfather, and friend. Ralph Hunt, Mr. Speaker, was a resident of Durham County, North Carolina, a county that Congressman David Price and I proudly represent. He was my constituent. Mr. Speaker, Ralph Hunt was also a native of my congressional district, having grown up in an adjoining county called Granville County, North Carolina. He was the seventh of 8 children born in 1932 to Johnny and Amanda Harris Hunt. As a young student at Mary Potter High School in Oxford, North Carolina, which was the only high school for African Americans during those days, Ralph grew up during the period of legal and forced segregation in the South, which helped lay the foundation for Ralph to get an education and others like him to get an education. Mary Potter High School was a nationally renowned high school for African Americans. Ralph Hunt Sr. went on to further his education at Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is a Presbyterian school. He was drafted into the United States Army during his junior year in school, but he was honorably discharged 2 years later from the United States Army. He then returned to North Carolina to complete his college education, earning a degree in mathematics in 1956. After spending many years as an educator at Mary Potter High School and Hillside High School, Ralph was elected to the Durham City Council. He was one of only 2 African Americans serving on the City Council at that time. His fellow council members selected him to serve as mayor pro tem. Ralph was then elected to the North Carolina State Senate in 1985 and served many years. During his tenure, Senator Hunt was a true statesman who led with conviction. He served as chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, served as Majority Whip and a member of the Joint Legislative Commission on Government Operations. He introduced the legislation that changed the election law in North Carolina to allow a 40% threshold to avoid a runoff in a primary. In 1993, Senator Hunt was appointed by then Governor Jim Hunt to the prestigious North Carolina Utilities Commission, where he would serve as its chair. Ralph Hunt Sr. retired from the commission in 2001, returned to the state Senate very briefly from 2004 to 2005. Ralph's career in public service should serve as a marker we can all strive to meet. He was a visionary who helped bring the Durham community to be the economic leader that it is today. Ralph Hunt Sr. achieved many great things in his life, but his greatest achievement, Mr. Speaker, was his loving family, his dear wife of more than 50 years, Rebecca, and his 3 children, Ralph Jr., Reginald, and Regina. Mr. Speaker, the city of Durham, the county of Durham, the state of North Carolina all shine brighter because of the life and work of Senator Ralph Hunt Sr. We will miss him dearly, but his legacy lives on. Everything God gave to Ralph, he gave it back to his family and to his community. I said those words at his memorial service the other day, and I say it now from the well of the U.S. House of Representatives. Everything that God gave to Ralph Hunt Sr., he gave it back to his family and to his community. And Mr. Speaker, in just a few moments after the next Republican Speaker, my dear friend and colleague, Congressman David Price, who was also a dear friend of Ralph Hunt Sr., will give additional remarks in tribute to this great leader. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.